Forward Brincerella's stick was hot in Syracuse Ice Hockey's 4-1 victory over Robert Morris today. While it may be a new season, it was the same old Syracuse men's lacrosse, and its 11-7 loss to the Maryland Terps.
In the second half, I really want to know from your perspective, what happened?
So the second half was absolutely dismal for Syracuse men's lacrosse. Maryland outscored them 7-2 in that second half, and really the biggest reason for it was Syracuse was just making sloppy turnovers, and Maryland was consistently picking up on it. Let's start on the gridiron. Syracuse football has had quite a while to prepare for its matchup against Pittsburgh on Saturday, and SU has needed it. Into the bye week, the Orange lost back-to-back games by almost 50 combined points. I think quarterback Ricky Collins described the struggles best. While Deere takes pride in representing the purple and white on the field, he's been doing it off the field since high school, specifically with the use of orange. But Deere, why is that color so important? 11th ranked Syracuse was this close to making it a one-goal game with just 20 seconds remaining. But Finn Thompson's goal would be called back on a goal mouth violation, so the Orange fell 14-12 to number 8 North Carolina.
It's almost scored 5. What happened?
Well, in the words of Gary Gate once again, they played free and made the right choices, right? So this is something that cannot go unsaid from what just happened in that Gary Gate press conference. He said, I asked all of my players after the game to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to be the betterment for this team? Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm John Boccio here. I've got your sports update for tonight. Hoop season is finally here for Syracuse women's basketball, and SU had the chance to start out with a bang. It took on Stony Brook in its season opener with head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack's 400th career win on the line. Could she complete the near half-century feat? Coach Sweet is one of many skippers that Tatum White has seen throughout her playing years. She even experienced a head coaching change after her sophomore season at Syracuse. So the grad student has ultimately come to the conclusion that separate viewpoints have only made her better. It seems like a mentality switch was all that Syracuse men's lacrosse needed in its 24-5 season-opening victory over Jacksonville on Saturday. After a tough defeat in the NCAA tournament quarterfinals last season to Denver, SU's leading scorer both in that game and against the Dolphins, Michael Leo, believes it's best that the Orange have turned the page. Another squad that aims for a big win at home is women's hoops. Syracuse takes on Auburn in the ACC-SEC Challenge game that tipped off just over an hour ago, and it's been a defensive battle in the Dome. The weather outside is frightful, but the lax is so delightful. Syracuse men's lacrosse takes on Maryland in just a few.
How did that affect SU?
So the biggest way that it affected SU, and Gary Gate and Joey Spallina touched on this one in the presser, is the fact that it actually gave him a good amount of rest and some mental health days that were much needed in the middle of the season. They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, Syracuse men's soccer came up empty on every shot it fired off in a 1-0 loss to Duquesne on Friday night. To the court. Hoop season is right around the corner, which means predictions are on the rise. The ACC released its preseason all-conference teams, which featured SU guard J.J. Starling on the second squad. While the Orange's offensive performance was impressive, SU's defensive performance might have taken the cake. Syracuse allowed just 2 goals, its least in a game since it played Army in 2016. The Hats came flying onto the ice tonight in Syracuse Ice Hockey's 4-1 victory over Robert Morris. Forward Brincerella bagged the first hat trick of her career in the victory and capped it off with an empty netter with just a minute and a half left in the game. We're going to start on the pitch. Syracuse men's soccer and head coach Ian McIntyre have been on the brink of history for over 3 weeks. After a win on the first against Yale, Coach Mack was tied for the winningest coach in SU's program with 141 victories. Since, the Orange were winless in 4 contests. But with a 500 Colgate squad stomping into SU Soccer Stadium, could Coach McIntyre finally claim his throne? SU looks to feed off the momentum from its biggest win since its season opener of 2022 on Friday against Vermont. Opening faceoff is at 6 o'clock. 2 games, 2 goalies, 2 shutouts. And you might be seeing double because Syracuse women's ice hockey overtook Stonehill 4-0 once again in Kennedy Ice Pavilion. SU comes right back to the Dome on Saturday to face off against Colgate, where some milestones may be ahead. SU attackmen Joey Spallina and Owen Hiltz are a combined 3 points away from 200 on their respective careers. Reporting from the JMA Wireless Dome, John Boccio, Citrus TV.